All right, I want to demonstrate how to tie a head on a bundle of cables so that you can pull it through a wall or floor or ceiling or whatever. If this isn't done right, then a lot of times what will happen is the cables will get hung up, or they pull part off the head, and then the cable won't pull down the wall. It'll get stuck on insulation, it'll get stuck on other wires, it'll get stuck on whatever's in there. So I wanted to show how it's done. This cable is being pulled out of a bucket, so you want to have this end forward so that you can tie it onto whatever you're going to use to pull the cables. All right. So you want to have your cables always staggered. You know, you don't want to have a bundle like that. That's not, I mean, you can, but you have to tape on a lot of tape up there to make a nice cone. You want to have a nice taper on all these cables. It helps in a lot of times that cut them on a 45 if the wires are going to be exposed on the side, so that, you know, when you tape them down, they kind of melt into the bundle a little easier. All right, so the taper is important. You want to have it not too fat, not too skinny. You want it to taper nice and smoothly from the top to the bottom. You want your drag half hitched. So you're making a loop, right? This is a string coming out of the bucket. This is the end. You're just going to make a loop like that. It's going to go over the wire. So you see what I did there? It's just looped over. It's like a half hitch. I think it is a half hitch, actually. Now you want to adjust the wires a little bit, like that. You have one half hitch. You want to have two. So you run another one. They could be looking at each other. They could be opposites. Doesn't matter. So once you have that set, you want to make sure that your head looks right. You want it to be tapered properly. You don't want all the wires to be in one spot. You also want to have like 3 or 4 inches behind the last wire, so the last wire doesn't get lost. All right. So you start back here and you set this so the tape can't pull. All right, so now you pull tight and you tape. All right, so now at this point you want to put another half hitch in the middle, kind of sort of bundle everything up. And I try to set everything so that the knot flows over a cable. Can you see that? Yeah, like that. All right, so then you tape that up. I don't know if you can tell or not either, but you really have to tape this tightly. You don't want to tape it loose. It can't be loose. If it's loose, it's going to get caught. You need to have it nice and tight. You also would be best to have this as straight as possible. You don't want the head to be curved like this. That's no good. You want it to be straight. So where these cables come together like this, I'll put another one. Pull the string tight. Usually you tie it to a wall or stud or have somebody hold it, whatever. All right. You can run your finger down to see if it catches. If your finger catches, then it's going to definitely catch on something in the wall or in the ceiling or whatever. So this is a point where it's a problem. So now you have to put extra tape here because a lot of times this wire will separate from the string if it hits something, if it gets caught on something, and then it'll bend like this. And then when you try to pull it through a ceiling, floor, wall, whatever, this is going to catch on absolutely everything. So at this point, you want to really tape the shit out of it. And I like to tape the leading wire a little extra so that that can't happen. So it can't be pulled apart. So you got a nice taper there. It's nice and smooth. And then the last thing is the friendly. So wherever you're running this wire to, if you don't have a ton of extra wire, you want to untape this when it gets there so you don't lose any wire. And the easiest way to do that is to leave a friendly. You just take the tape, you leave a little flag there, you can fold it on top of itself or whatever. And that way, whoever, if it's you or it's one of your guys or whatever, need to untape it, it's so much easier to pull apart this way. But, so there you go. It's taping up cable to pull through a ceiling. And this is Cat 6 wire, by the way. Cat 5, Cat 6, it doesn't matter. All right, there you go. Ready to go.